What's up, Shulka here. It is that time of the season, my people, the possible Season 13 Legend buffs and nerfs. And let me tell you, this season is really going to be surprising, just because in the previous season we didn't literally get, well, anything. Developers were making reworks for Rampart, Crypto and Watson, which made the Legend not move from their previous position, because Newcastle is up next in Season 13. Something could shift a lot, so let's get over every single legend and their changes or lack of. Before we start, I will say, is the change a speculation by me or it was mentioned by a developer, because every single time people take everything as granted, even though I always explain, so listen carefully. First up is Gibraltar. Developers were saying that they are going to nerf his bubble and then give him another passive ability, or they're going to buff some other part of his kit. Newcastle is really similar to Gibraltar because of his defense, but Gibraltar is just so much better because of his bubble and arm shield. It is possible that big changes are going to come where his bubble is going to get nerfed, so Newcastle can step in. Then we have Rampart. Rampart has received a shadow buff, which was removed for her ultimate, and there is some code which is saying that her tactical ability is going to get buffed as well, where it will build faster. That is the official stuff. My speculation is that she will also get nerfed in some way because of the similarities with Newcastle abilities. Because, as I said, if they don't nerf Gibraltar and Rampart in some way, Newcastle is just going to be useless, because he can do a lot of things but just not as good as those two legends. Which brings us to one speculation, and that is a Lifeline, because Newcastle seems to be a hybrid between a support and defense legend. It could mean that Lifeline is going to get nerfed so Newcastle can shine a little bit. It gets some fans because, as I said many times, Lifeline is just so good as a support character, and she's really easy to use, which means Newcastle can't even compete with that. A developer, Moy, asked about Ashe in Season 11 and what are our thoughts about her. This could literally mean something or nothing, so take it as you would like. Developers were saying that Bangalore is going to get a small buff because of the constant scanning abilities which are happening, but we don't know when or what will it be. BLOODHOUND is being watched by developers because of their scanning abilities, and developers said they will nerf them if needed. Currently, they didn't change anything on them, which means maybe they are in a good position. CAUSTIC was promised to get a barrel buff and an ultimate nerf which can be destroyed, but it looks like that idea has been scrapped because his barrels were nerfed this season. MAGGIE and SEER are pretty new legends and they are struggling in terms of pick rate. This is my speculation now speaking, but I think they are going to buff them in some way just because of that. It is pretty clear that they need changes and the developers are probably going to change them in the future. Spawn was teasing that Mirage is working on something. It can only be two things: a new Mirage Voyage or a buff. The insider leaks happened and we didn't see any new Mirage Voyage, so a buff is possible then. Pathfinder is on a never-ending search for his passive ability. Developers talk about it non-stop, but nothing is happening, so maybe he's going to get it next season. VALKYRIE, just as BLOODHOUND, is being watched, and maybe she will get nerfed because of her ultimate is just so powerful, as well as the amount of fuel for her passive. VALKYRIE has a lot of fans, and it is one of the most popular legends, so even though developers said they're watching her and maybe nerfing her, I don't think that will happen, just because they want to have some really strong legends in the game. At the end, no official developer information or speculation has been given about Wraith, Watson, Octane Revenant, Loba Horizon, or Fuse. And there you go. Hopefully a huge legend meta shift is going to come, because the previous seasons were just horrible in terms of that. That's it. Thank you for watching. Bye.